Today we are going to study lesson 3, in which we are going to study a definite particle in Arabic, that is lam al-ta'rif. Next is al-huruf al-shamsiyah, means the solar letters. Al-huruf al-qamariyah means the lunar letters. Al-mubtada, al-mubtada'u means the subject, and al-khabaru means the predicate. So let's start with definite particle. Now in Arabic and English, usually nouns are of two types, that is indefinite noun and definite noun. Indefinite noun in Arabic is called as nakirah or nakiratun, and definite noun is called as ma'rifah or ma'rifatun. Now whenever any noun has tanween, means double dhamma or double fatha or double kasra, then at that point of time that noun is nakirah. In order to convert that nakirah to ma'rifah, that is indefinite noun to definite noun, we have to attach al. As soon as al is attached to nakirah, it becomes definite, that is ma'rifah, and there is no more tanween on the word at the end. There is either single fatha or single dhamma or single kasra. After the conversion, or uh, when a noun becomes ma'rifah, or when a noun is ma'rifah, then at that point of time the word, that noun, is called as mu'arraf bil lam. Now this al corresponds to the word the in English, that is the. This al is definite article. That is, this al is called as definite particle. Okay, so here we have an example, waladun. Now it is in the nakira form. In order to convert it into ma'rifah form, we attach al. Now in nakira form, it can be anything, means not specific. Here he can be any boy. Waladun. Waladun means boy. After attaching al, that word becomes specific, means describing about a specific person or thing. Specific. For example, here we take al waladu. Now this al waladu is not any boy. This is a particular boy, specific boy. In the first sentence, here it is haza waladun. This is a boy. And next sentence, that indefinite noun waladun has become definite, that is ma'arifa. It has become ma'arifa. Al waladu waqifun. The boy is standing. Now in the second example, it has become specific. It is no more a common noun or a indefinite noun. Whenever a word precedes the noun or a word having al, then the first word is joined to the lam of the second word. It happens because hamza in al is hamzatul wasl and not hamzatul qata'a. Hamzatul wasl isn't pronounced when it comes in the middle of the sentence. Means whenever any word precedes it. On the contrary, when hamzatul qata'a comes in the sentence, if it comes at the beginning or in the middle or at the end, wherever it comes and whenever it comes, it has to be pronounced. Whereas in this case, Hamzatul Wasl, it, it is it isn't pronounced. It is written, but it isn't pronounced while reading the sentence in a flow. Here we take an example. Now, qalamun is one word and al baladu is second word. But whenever we combine these words, then it becomes qalamul waladi. Means we have to stress that here hamza of al is not pronounced. Meme is directly attached while pronunciation to meme is getting joined to this lam. So the combination becomes qalamul waladi and not qalamu al waladi. This is wrong to say qalamu al waladi. We have to say qalamul waladi. While pronunciation, hamzatul wasl is dropped. While writing, it isn't dropped. It is written. The next point is whenever a word having tanween precedes the definite article al, the noon of the tanween is rendered kasra, means it takes kasra and joined to the lam. Here we have example hamidun. Now if you want to say hamidun and next word is al alimu, when they both are combined, then at that point of time we have to say hamidunil alimu. You can see here there is a noon just for pronunciation purpose. It isn't actually there, but it is mentioned there just for explanation. Hamidu nil alimu. Hope you got this point. Now
Yeah, sir.
we come to next topic, that is al huruf al shamsiyah and al huruf al qamariyah. Now in Arabic alphabets there are 28 letters. Half of them are solar letters and half of them are lunar letters. Al huruf al shamsiyah are called as solar letters and al huruf al qamariyah are called as lunar letters. Now in huruf al shamsiyah we will see that whenever al is attached to the words starting with al huruf al shamsiyah, then at that point of time lam is not pronounced. Directly they have to pronounce the starting letter of the word, that particular word. Hamza directly gets joined to the first letter of the al-huruf shamsiyah. For example, we take at-tajiru, at-tajiru. First one is at-tajiru. So these are the letters which are called as al-huruf shamsiyah. So let's see those first. That is ta, tha, dal, zal, re, ze, sin, shin, fob, dod, toy, voy, lam, noon. Whenever the words start with these letters and al is attached to that letter, then lam won't be pronounced. Hamza will directly get attached to the first letter of al-huruf shamsiya. And whenever any word precedes such words, uh, al is attached to these words, then at that point of time, the end of that letter will directly join to the first letter of the al-huruf shamsiya, means al won't be pronounced, and there will be shadda on the first letter of al-huruf shamsiya. See, in all these cases, shadda is present just to stress over that letter. So let's start. At-tajiru, at-thawbu, ad-diku, az-zahabu, ar-rajulu. Can you observe that lam is not pronounced? Okay. Az-zuhratu, as-samaku, ash-shamsu, al-thadru, al-dayfu, al-talibu, al-zahru, al-laqmu, an-najmu. Now these were al-huruf shamsiyah. Now let's go to the lunar letters. That is al-huruf al-qamariyah. In this case, lam is pronounced after hamza. Okay, so let's start. This is hamzatul qata'a, ba, jim, ha, kha, ain, ghain, fa, qaf, kaf, mim, waw, he, and ya. So let's take the examples of all these letters. First one is al-abu, al-babu. Next is al-jannatu, al-khimaru, al-khubzu, al-qainu, al-ghaba'u, al-famu, al-qamaru, al-kalbu, al-ma'u, al-waladu, al-hawa'u, al-yadu. In all these examples, lam is pronounced. It is not omitted in pronunciation. Okay, so let's proceed to our next point. Sentence. It is called as jumla or jumlatun in Arabic. Jumlatun or a sentence is a group of words which makes a complete sense, whereas a phrase which is called as shibu jumla is also a group of words but which doesn't make a complete sense. As in English, sentence consists of subject and predicate. Similarly, Arabic also consists of subject and predicate. In Arabic, subject is called as mubtada'un and predicate is called as khabarun, or we can say al-mubtada'u and al-khabaru. Al-mubtada'u can be name of a person, place, or a thing which we are talking about. Now al-khabar is the information about the subject we are talking about. Al-khabar or the predicate is the part of the sentence which informs or which informs any fact or news about the subject, that is al-mubtada'u. In Arabic there are two types of sentences, al-jumlatul fi'liyatu and al-jumlatul ismiyatu. Al-jumlatul fi'liyatu is called as verbal sentence and al-jumlatul ismiyatu is called as nominal sentence. The jumla, the sentence which begins with a fi'l or a verb, is called as al-jumlatul fi'liya. It consists of fa'il and fi'l, whereas al-jumlatul ismiya starts with a noun, that is ism. As we discussed earlier, this is a sentence. First we will study the first type of sentence, that is nominal sentence, that is al-jumlatul ismiya. Al-jumlatul ismiya has two parts, mubtada'un or al-mubtada'u or khabarun, which can also be called as al-khabar. As you can see, mubtada is called as subject and khabar is called as predicate. Here are some simple nominal sentences in Arabic. Harithun talibun. Harith is a student. Next sentence is Khadijatu alimatun. Khadija is a learned person. Next is Al-waladu zakiyun. The boy is intelligent. Al-bintu jamilatun. The girl is beautiful. This is a pen. Haza qalamun. Now, as we have seen that the nominal sentence, that is al-jumlatul ismiyatu, starts with mubtada and other part is and the other part of the sentence, other part of the jumlatul ismiya is called as khabar. Khabar is that part of the sentence which tells or informs something about the subject. Now, usually the subject is a definite noun. Indefinite noun, it can be a proper noun, that is alamun. Proper noun is called as alamun in Arabic, or it can be a noun with al, which is also other type of definite noun, or it can be a pronoun. As pronoun he or huwa is uh, written or mentioned whenever we talk about a particular person, particular male. It is pronoun for a particular male. So it is also treated as definite noun, that is ma'rifah. And the second part of the sentence, that is al-khabar or khabarun, is usually indefinite, that is nakira. Al-mubtada is ma'rifah and al-khabar is nakira. But the subject and predicate, that is mubtada and khabar, agrees in gender with the subject. Means if the mubtada is muzakkar means masculine, then khabar is also muzakkar, that is masculine. And if mubtada is muannas, then khabar is also muannas. It can't happen that mubtada is muzakkar and khabar is muannas. And also it can't happen that mubtada is muannas and khabar is muzakkar. Now in there are five types of predicate, but today we are going to learn only the first type, that is predicate is one word. So when it is one word, it is a marfu, means it is in a nominative case. Nominative case in Arabic is the case in which the noun has tanween or single dhamma. Okay. Now let's discuss further about al-mubtada. Al-mubtada is the word which has been derived from the Arabic word al-ibtida'u. Al-ibtida'u means starting or beginning. So as its name suggests, al-mubtada always comes at the beginning. Al-mubtada is ism and it is the subject, or in other words we can say the topic of discussion, means it is that word about which something is going to be explained or told in the next part of the sentence. Al-mubtada is marfu, means it is in nominative case, means either it will have tanween or single dhamma on the last letter of that noun, which is marfu. Usually in its original form, al-mubtada always precedes al-khabar, means al-mubtada will always come at the beginning of the sentence in original form. There may be some cases when khabar precedes mubtada, but normally, majority of times, mubtada will come at the beginning and khabar will come in the latter part. Al-mubtada in its original form, in its asl form, it is ma'rifah, means definite. Let's proceed towards al-khabar. Al-khabar means the predicate, as we have seen earlier. Al-khabar comes after the mubtada in its origin. Now al-mubtada is that part of the sentence, al-khabar is that part of the sentence which gives any information about al-mubtada. Al-khabar in its origin, in its of form, is nakira. Al-khabar is also marfu, means it takes dhamma or dhammatan, means tanween on its last letter. So this was the grammatical explanation about grammatical explanation of lesson 3. All that has come in lesson 3, we have discussed the grammatical concepts through these slides. Now let's start with our lesson. Can you see my screen, in which it says ad-darsu thalith?
Yeah, sir, we can see.
Okay, so let's start. See here, Baitun. Baitun is in Nakira form, means it has double Dhamma, means Tanween at, at the end of the word on its last letter. When we attach al to it, the last letter takes single Dhamma. See the next example, Qalamun. Qalamun, to make this word ma'rifa, means to make it definite, we attach al. So it becomes al-qalamu. In the first example, baitun means any house, a house. It can be any house. But when al is attached to it, then it becomes specific, the house. In the next example, same way, when al is attached to the word, then it becomes specific. Al-qalamu means it is no more any pen. It is a particular pen, a specific pen. Next example, kitabun means any book. A book, it can be any book. When we attach al to it, it becomes al kitabu, means a specific book. It is translated as the book. Jamalun. Jamalun means camel. A camel. It can be any camel, but when al is attached to it, it becomes specific. Al jamalu, the camel. Now here we will begin al mubtada and al khabar. The first part is al mubtada and second part is al khabar, because this first word is the word about which some information is coming in the next part of the sentence, next part of the jumla. Al qalamu maksurun, the pen. This is al mubtada. The pen is broken. Maksurun. Maksurun is khabar. See, as we have seen, both are marfu', means both are having either dhamma or tanween with dhamma. Mubtada comes first and khabar comes afterwards in the sentence. Next example, al-babu maftuqun. Al-babu, it is no more any door. It is a particular door, means which is shown in the picture. Al-babu. Al-babu maftuqun. The door is closed. The door is closed. Here the first part of the sentence is mubtada and next part is khabar. Mubtada is that part of the sentence about which some information coming in the next part of the sentence, and that information is called as khabar. Here khabar is maftuqun, means the meaning of the sentence is the door is broken. Sorry, the door is open. Okay, maftuqun means open. Fataha yaftah. Next is al waladu jalisun wal mudarrisu waqifun. Al mudarris wal mudarrisu waqifun means the boy is sitting and the teacher is standing. Al-waladu here is mubtada and jalisun is khabar. And other part of the sentence, al-mudarrisu is mubtada and waqifun is khabar. Al-waladu, here waladu is starting with waw, and waw is from al-huruful qamariyah, means while pronouncing this word we are pronouncing lam also. We are not omitting lam in its pronunciation. Al-mudarrisu, al-mudarrisu, meme is also from huruful qamariyah, so we are pronouncing meme also. Sorry, we are pronouncing lam before meme. Al-qalamu, al-babu, these are also the examples of al-huruful qamariyah. Al-baytu, ba, qaf in al-qalamu, al-kitabu, kaf in al-kitabu, al-jamalu, jim in al-jamalu. All these are the examples of al-huruful qamariyah. So let me inform all of you if our meeting gets end. So we will meet in the next session inshallah. Okay, is that clear to you all? Because this Zoom meeting app allows the host to conduct the meeting only up to 40 minutes. Means we can't exceed our duration more than 40 minutes. We can come back again, but we can't continue after 40 minutes. Okay, so let's start with this sentence. Al-kitabu jadidun wal-qalamu qadimun. Now here waw is also used. Waw is harfu ataf, means conjunction. Conjunction, harfu ataf is called as conjunction in English. Now the rule for waw is that whenever waw appears in the sentence, then after that no gap is given between the word following it and waw. Exactly after waw, the next letter, the first letter of the next word is written. See here, there is no gap here after waw. Al-kitabu jadidun wal-qalamu qadimun. Al-kitabu is mubtada, jadidun is khabar, waw harf ataf, al-qalamu mubtada and qadimun is khabar. The book is new and the pen is old. Next, example, al-himaru صغير والحصان كبير. الحمار مبتدا، صغير خبر، واو حرف عطف, and الحصان once again خبر, and كبير, sorry, والحصان is مبتدا and كبير خبر. الحمار مبتدا، صغير خبر، واو حرف عطف، الحصان مبتدا and كبير also خبر. The donkey is small and the horse is big. Next example, al-kursiyu maksurun. Here al-kursiyu is mubtada and maksurun is khabar. Kaf is also from huruful qamariyah, so lam is pronounced while pronouncing this word. Al-kursiyu maksurun. The chair is broken. only 3 minutes are remaining, so we can do one thing. We will once this meeting ends after 3 minutes, you can rejoin again with the same link. Okay. Next example, fourth example is al-mindilu wasiqun. Al-mindilu is mubtada and wasiqun is khabar. The handkerchief is clean. Sorry, the handkerchief is dirty. Al-mindilu is mubtada here and wasiqun is khabar. The khabar is that part of the sentence which tells something about mubtada. Farhan, can you read? Next example, fifth example. Hello. Hello. Aya, can you read next example? Yes.
Sir?
Yes, read fifth example.
Which one, sir? I couldn't hear you.
Fifth example, this one. Can you see pointer on the screen? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, sir. In the third sentence.
Fifth sentence, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one, this one.
Al-ma'u baridun.
Yes, okay. Here
Okay.
al-ma'u is mubtada and baridun is khabar. The water is cold. Al-ma'u is mubtada and baridun is khabar. Al-qamaru jamilun. The moon is beautiful. I request both of you that we are going. This meeting is going to end, so we will start again once again. Okay. البيت قريب والمسجد بعيد. Hello, Farhan, can you hear me?